Hi, hi, this is Deborah Shalette Wilson, and I am so pleased this evening to introduce a wonderful woman who not only has been very helpful in my life, just personally, but professionally, and in this new business endeavor that we're in with IProNetwork. And she's going to be here tonight to give us her wisdom and wow us with her brilliance. Take it away, Tonya.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Deborah. It's great to be connected to amazing people like Deborah, and that's really what this is all about. When you start connecting to people, and this is something that most people don't realize in the networking arena. It is called networking for a reason, not just network marketing, but we're also marketing through our networks, and then we're creating a network of our own. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, I want to remind everyone that, if you were here last week, I had given y'all some homework assignments. And that was a simple note that, flagged. The simple note that you're going to stick all over the place that says, wow myself today. All right. So hopefully you did that, and you've got stickers all over the place, and you're reminding yourself every day to wow yourself. I know Deborah was just sharing with me her big wow, and that's what it is, because each time you take one of those, then the next time isn't as scary, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I got over that wow. What else can I wow myself? And that's how I keep continuously pushing myself and kind of doing something amazing every week, every month, and every year. And that's how I've grown to where I am. It's just by taking those baby steps a lot of times and just going, wow, I really did that for myself. I can't believe I just did that. And the other thing that we were doing was last week, we talked about our happy dances. And I know I've got a couple people that even messaged me, and they're like, I did a happy dance today. And what is a happy dance? Okay, so each one of you needs to kind of come up with what your happy dance is going to look like. And, you can have a little small one, or you can be like, wow. And the happy dance happens when you find someone who's negative. When you're talking to somebody that kind of bounces back at you, and they're like, now we're marketing. You're like, do a happy dance. And they're like, what are you doing? And really quickly, you'll find people will either just completely go away from you like crazy person, or they go, why are you so happy? And it gives you a great conversation. Well, I'm only looking for people that love network marketing and love the prospect of going out and changing lives and changing their own lives, no matter what it's going to take, no matter how you have to push yourself out of doing something new today. So you got to think of it as, kind of an encouragement, because we all get the people. We all have those moments when somebody isn't the nicest. When we're standing in line and we happen to talk to somebody, and you say something about crypto, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's a bubble, I can't believe you're into that. Or you talk to your best friend or somebody, and they have that reaction, and you're like, oh, happy dance, remember Tonya told me to do a happy dance. And it just changes your whole perspective on the negativity. And I tell you, it happens every time for me. Is as soon as I find someone like super and I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that person would react that way, which is always funny in itself. But then I do my little happy dance, because I know usually the next person I talk to is going to be amazing. But in this industry, what happens is usually, and really any industry, I don't care if you're a realtor, an insurance, or a network marketer, you get that really ugly person, and it usually shuts the person down. They're like, I'm just going to go get a job. Not that you don't have to deal with it there too, right? But it's about, as entrepreneurs, we get to decide who we're going to actually work with. And that's the hardest thing for people to really grasp, is as an entrepreneur, and especially in network marketing, you can decide who you allow into your life and who you allow into your team. There's been a lot of people that kind of started to sound interested, and I was like, oh no, because you just feel the vibe, right? There's going to be a pain to deal with this person. You don't want the pain. Now that's different than someone that takes, it's a little bit more of a challenge to get them all the way to becoming an affiliate. Okay, because sometimes the bigger they are, there's some convincing that has to go on. There's got to be some, why should they do this? And for a lot of people, what they're really doing is they're vetting you. Have you thought about that? They've been, most everyone, I was just talking to the amazing Mr. Nigel Dixon just a minute ago. He was on my TV show, and we had the conversation about, when you start looking at who we want to gravitate to us to be part of our team, not only do we get to decide, but sometimes the person who does decide doesn't react right away. And a lot of times we just discount people. Oh, that Tonya, she hasn't done anything. I'm just going to go on and talk to somebody else. Well, Nigel didn't start really until 6 months later. But Bishop asked him again. He's like, hey, come on, let's go. You need this, right? Your business is all changing. You need this. And he got it, and he clicked, and he started doing it. So when you start really looking at what does it take to really do this business, the first thing is you got to stick to it. The second one is you've got to get over the, oh my gosh, people are going to talk negatively. And you've also got to remember that they are also vetting you because they want to see what you're going to do. Because who wants to join someone's team and then 2 months later you haven't heard from that person again? They're never doing trainings. They're never doing anything. So remember that a lot of times people are watching you. They're watching you on social media. They're watching you on, at a networking group. They're watching you just by listening to you. They're watching. And they're assessing, is this going to be good to get in with you? So this is a way I would suggest kind of fast-pacing that a little bit. When you talk to people, it's also, Bishop calls it your business posture. I really believe it's more than that. It's your believability factor. So when you're like, I'm excited about this, this is the coolest thing, you've got to do this with me. Really what they want to hear from you is that you're going to stick with this and you're going to help them. When I first joined, I brought in my first person. And the second person is over on my inside leg, right? Well, how do you get people to go onto a side that you are the only person and them that's going to be over there? They're not going to have any help from anybody else. So how did I do that? By convincing them that, hey, the other side's going to do its own thing. I'm really focused on this inside leg. Now, I just didn't say that, they believed it. When you talk to people, do they believe you're going to be out there doing this as a business? That this is something you really enjoy, that you really believe in, that you love the products, that you believe in the pro currency, and that you're going to help them build the team. If not, there's no reason to ever put anybody on your inside leg. Right? Because you've got to own the fact that you're now connected to somebody's life. And to me, that's a pretty big deal, right? Well, no, when Deborah came in, I told her, I said, I am working this business for you. When Sal came in, it says, I will be helping you build that leg. And they believe it. Why? Because I'm doing it. Now, some of you, it takes a longer time to do it, and that's okay, right? A lot of it is personal development, getting used to talking and mentioning it to people and just kind of throwing it out there, and then doing it again and doing it again. Nigel was the same way. He was talking to me on my show today, and it was funny because he had this same experience. So I asked him, I said, how did you go from an introvert who was, selling ATMs, had ATM machines and really didn't have to deal with people, right, to being one of the top people in this company? And he said, once he decided to do it, he immediately realized that he had to talk to new people. So he learned from Bishop, and this is one thing I want to encourage each one of you to do, is learn not to sell, but to give value. When you give value, people are naturally drawn to you because you are now the expert that they've been looking for. How do you give value? Social media is such a huge place now. So you could do posts on, blogs. They're still out there. You can still do a blog. But video is really where it's at. YouTube, Facebook, right? Even Periscope is still out there. Everybody's got their own video platforms. And what's great is you can record them and then post them. So you can create your own group on Facebook and do some live videos in it. You can just do live videos on your personal feed, which I personally would suggest. You could go to YouTube. It's super easy now to just click and you're live. And you're just doing it from your phone, right? You just point it, click it, and let it go. Most phones have beautiful video quality. So you don't have to have a fancy setup, lights, camera, you could be anywhere, sitting anywhere, recording. And just give value. You don't have to have a 30-minute conversation. It could just be a great tip each day. And then, hey, contact me if you want more. There's a lady that I know who's a top of another company. She does $100,000 a month. She swears by Facebook Live. And she says she just gets on, she just talks, right? She's got something fun to show people. Hey, I'm at Disney World today with my kids. I wish y'all could be here too. She kind of shows some lifestyles, but most of it is just great info. And there's something that each one of you can talk about that's relatable to the people that you want on your team. And I'm not talking just about what is cryptocurrency or how to do e-commerce. It could be about anything, about life, about business, something you learned that day, an experience that you had, because most experiences, people have had them too. Oh my gosh, I was in Starbucks today and I talked to this person. I told them their shoes were really pretty and I didn't know what to say about my company, right? People love that kind of thing. Just being open and honest and sharing your experiences. So each one of your wows that you have, you could do a little video about that wow. Oh my gosh, I just wowed myself today. That could be your whole video title. I may use that. So you create your own little wow videos and it will naturally draw people to you. The right people, the people that want to be a part of your team. It's not about finding the people that are gravitating to me. It's about finding people who gravitate to you. Each one of you is amazing. And people will believe me. They will look at you and go, this is the person I've been looking for, because you're relatable to them. People tell me all the time, oh, you're just so laid back and you're just, so funny and blah, 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 because that's the personality type. Because I get a lot of people like, oh my God, I can't stand your laugh. Would you stop laughing? And I'm like, no. But it's just the reality. You're going to have, when you are really yourself, You're going to have people who are naturally like, oh my gosh, you're exactly what I'm looking for. Or the other person's like, oh my God, go away. Great, let those people go away. Because the people who don't like you, you don't really like them either. So let them go. You're not trying to find everyone. You're wanting to naturally attract people to you. Okay. Now that's a little bit different than like an e-commerce store where you're trying to attract the people to that particular store, right? That's a different kind of, opportunity, but not completely. So let me kind of throw this in there because this might be a great marketing angle, because a lot of times people have a real hard time with marketing. If you ever have a hard time with marketing, call me, I can help you. I really will. So let's take Miss Deborah Chalet Wilson. She's amazing. You just saw her. And she has a ginormous Mancoon cat. It's ginormous. And his name is Samson. Okay. So when she wanted one of the pet care, websites through iBuyRight, we came up with the Samson's Club, right? Kind of playing off of Sam's Club, right? So Samson's Club is the name of her iBuyRight store. So she could take pictures of her ginormous kitty cat with a new kitty cat color, or a new kitty cat play toy, or sitting there eating his bowl of yummies with the bag next to it that she bought from her store. And then on her Facebook page, right, she can link that picture directly over to her store and say, buy it here today. It's on sale, because everything on iBuyRight is almost everything is on sale, right? So you can use simple things that you already love, already connected to who you are, right? So Deborah's a perfect example of using her kitty cat, that then she could create a, kitty cat club, right? So she could create a Facebook group for people who love cats. And then every once in a while, she would mention, here's Samson with his bowl of treats today. You should buy your bowl of treats at Samson's Club, right? So those are the simple type of gravitational pull, even on something that you think has no relevance. A lot of us are learning about e-commerce stores right now. It's been really fun. And there's different approaches. There's just the approach, I'm just going to make a store and sell stuff from it. There's also the engagement opportunity. Creating something bigger that you can easily kind of maneuver in. So Deborah's a perfect example, right? She's got her kitty cat. She could have just gone and just be selling pet care stuff, right? But she's using her kitty for kind of a marketing prop. And then she could take that even into a world of kitty cat clubs, right? So you have to kind of look at how engaged, and the more you are personally engaged, people feel like, oh, I really like Deborah, and I love her kitty. I want to support her. Of course I would buy, my kitty cat food from her. Oh, by the way, I've got a dog. Look, they have dog food also. Great. I've been needing a new crate. So as she gets people to her site, they naturally look around and buy more. Because most of the time when people buy anything online, they're usually spending about $100. So you got to think about it. It's like, wow, okay. Even if I'm only making 10, 20%, it adds up. So look beyond just trying to attack everybody. Instead, have people gravitate to you. It's so much more fun. So when you start looking at this week, I want to encourage each one of you to do your happy dances. Okay, I want that to continue, because we all need to celebrate when we get ourselves away from someone we don't want to be around. So we do our little happy dances, and we are excited when things like that happen. Okay? When you start looking at, wow, what can I do today? Remember your little stickers that says, wow, myself today. Put little stickers up everywhere. Wow, myself, wow, myself. What can I do to wow myself. And that's what you go after this week, okay? And it could just be contacting a new person. Maybe you step it up a little bit and you're like, okay, I'm going to contact more than one person this entire week. Maybe that's your average so far. So let's do, you know, let's like go crazy and do like 4 people. Also look at maybe posting something on Facebook or doing it live, right? And I know the first time you do it, you're like, I don't know where the button is to push. Okay, there is so much out on YouTube, and even just Google it, right? You'll be able to find everything step by step, okay? It's really not that difficult. Because once you do it once, you're like, oh, I could do this. And then you do it again, you're like, oh, I got this. And then the third time, you're like, okay, this is no big deal. Because usually the second time, you're like, okay, let me remind myself how to do this. And I know for myself, what I plan on doing is I'm just about to get, it's called BeLive, belive.com, BeLive. And it's kind of like a system like Zoom. There's also a platform you could do it on Zoom as well. But BeLive connects right over to Facebook. Zoom also connects to Facebook as well. So you can also record and do it live at the same time. And you can have guests on. So that might be a thing to do as well, because sometimes it's really cool not to totally be always the expert, because you always have an expert on, which also elevates you as an expert. So whenever you're connected to other experts, woo, you know, so if you're like, I don't know what I'll talk about each week or, you know, every day, just ask people to come on. You're like, hey, Tonya, you want to come on? And I'm like, sure. And Deborah's like, hey, Deborah, you want to come on? She's like, sure. And Carlos is like, yeah, I'll be on, right? So we start having each other on, and we start kind of sharing the love. And then, like I told Nigel today, was a perfect example, because he was all worried about, you know, at the end, he was like, no, if you're going to go talk to somebody, talk to Tonya. And I'm like, look, if you gravitate to Nigel, talk to Nigel. If you gravitate to me, great. Okay, we got to let go of this control of things. We don't control people, and you only want people who gravitate to you. Because if you get somebody on your team that should be on somebody else's team, you're going to regret it. Believe me, I've had it happen in the past. You're like, oh, I should have just let you go with so-and-so. Right? Don't force people, because usually they won't even join anyways. Let them gravitate to who they gravitate to. Okay,